During the Great Depression of 2026, both the government and the public are so desperate for money that California launches the Grand Lottery. If someone kills the winner before sundown, they can legally take the jackpot, as long as no bullets are used. Sean becomes the latest lottery winner. He's on the run, chased by a crowd eager to claim the prize. Sean fights off attackers, taking them down quickly, and escapes by jumping over a fence. He breaks into a house through a window, startling the grandmother inside. He grabs her phone and smashes it to prevent her from calling for help. Outside, a drone is tracking his every move. Sean takes a moment to catch his breath, but the grandmother suddenly pulls out a Grand Lottery bolt gun and kills him on the spot. She then breaks her ticket to summon the lottery team, who storm the house and confirm Sean's death. They hand her a giant check for $22 million, and she becomes the latest person to appear on the news as a winner. A month later, Katie arrives in LA, hoping to restart her acting career. She notices a little girl nearby and makes funny faces to cheer her up, but the child's father is being rude to his daughter over the phone, so Katie pretends to be a cop and threatens to report him to social services. The man quickly changes his tone, becoming kinder to his daughter. An elderly lady thanks Katie for her service, but when she leaves, Katie realizes her watch has been stolen. Meanwhile, the media is buzzing about the next lottery drawing. Ticket sales have hit a record high, and the jackpot has reached a staggering $3.6 billion. At his home, Noel prepares his weapons while singing the Ninja Turtles theme song. Katie eventually arrives at the room she rented online and is immediately disappointed. Her new roommate, Shadi, had lied about the apartment's condition. It's a total dump. Shadi herself is annoying and ignores her overly supportive mom's calls. Shadi's boyfriend, DJ, isn't much better. He even slaps Katie as a prank when giving her the house keys. The next day, Noel's ad plays on TV, offering his bodyguard services to future lottery winners. When Katie wakes up, she's horrified to find that the upstairs bathroom is leaking and the water has ruined her clothes. She calls Shadi, who offers no real help other than renting Katie her own clothes. With no other choice, Katie uses her savings to buy an awful outfit and takes a cab to her audition because she's running late. The cab driver makes creepy comments the entire ride and talks about celebrity gossip, mentioning that rapper Machine Gun Kelly has his own bunker. When Katie arrives at the audition, an employee charges her $400 to participate. The audition finally starts, and Katie shares her story. She was in a lot of TV ads as a kid, but had to put her career on hold to care for her sick mom. After her mother passed, Katie decided to give acting another shot. Reaching into her pocket for her monologue notes, Katie accidentally pulls out Shadi's lottery ticket. When her thumb touches it, the ticket activates, taking her picture and officially registering her as a player. Panicking, Katie shoves the ticket back into her pocket and tries to focus on her audition. However, the panel immediately dislikes her performance and kicks her out. In the hallway, other actresses try to comfort her, but suddenly all their lottery tickets light up, revealing that Katie has just won the jackpot. Her face appears on the alerts. The actresses turn on her, grabbing anything they can find to attack her. The workers join in too. Katie defends herself using techniques she learned in stage combat classes, dodging attacks and even avoiding a flying shoe. She takes off running, confused about what's happening. Katie hides in a room, hoping to lose her attackers, but she stumbles into a self-defense class. These people also see her as their jackpot and immediately try to kill her. Katie scrambles to dodge their moves. She tries asking what's going on, but nobody listens. One guy grabs her ankles, spins her around, and throws her through a wall, sending her crashing into a yoga class. The yoga students, like everyone else, are eager to go after her. The self-defense group follows her into the yoga room, creating total chaos. A man grabs her by the neck, but suddenly Noel bursts through the ceiling and throws the guy into a wall. Noel announces that Katie gets 5 free saves, but after that, his services will cost 10% of her winnings. While taking down the attackers one by one, he counts the freebies, and by the time he finishes, Katie has no choice but to sign his contract. Now working for real, he fights off the attackers using creative moves, including using Katie as a weapon to kick people away. He ties her to his back to protect her, and even uses his belt as a whip to fend off opponents from a distance. Once everyone is knocked out, Katie frees herself and grabs Noel's paralysis dart gun. He easily takes it back and carefully arranges the unconscious attackers in positions to prevent them from choking on their tongues. Noel explains that the lottery drone, which is already hovering outside, posts the winner's location every 14 minutes. They need to leave immediately. As they run out of the building, Noel points out that the lottery rules don't allow players to kill each other. People at a nearby food truck throw a knife at Katie, but Noel helps her dodge it. They jump into his car and speed off. People get alerts about Katie's location and begin preparing to join the hunt. The ice cream truck drives off, leaving the kids behind, and even the lady from the bus now has a Grand Lottery bolt gun. Meanwhile, Noel finishes explaining the lottery rules to Katie and is shocked she didn't already know them. Suddenly, their car is being chased by people on bikes and ATVs. Noel hands Katie a helmet and puts one on himself before speeding up. A Molotov cocktail lands on the car, setting the roof on fire. Noel keeps driving and steers into an old warehouse where the wind eventually blows blows out the flames. He quickly spins the car around, causing one biker to crash into it. He then speeds through the warehouse, dodging more bikers who start another fire. Katie says she wants to quit the game, but Noel explains that the only way to quit is to leave the city. He takes out his dart gun and shoots one of the pursuers, knocking him off his bike. As the enemies throw objects at the car, Noel drives in circles, creating a cloud of dust. This distraction allows him to quietly push the car out of the warehouse without being noticed. Katie insists on quitting, and Noel reluctantly agrees to take her to the nearest quit line. Just as they're about to leave, the bikers catch up. One of the attackers jumps into the car through the back window, and Katie manages to steal her knife. While Noel pulls out more darts, the woman bites his arm. Noel grabs the rearview mirror and hits her with it, then asks Katie to drive. Despite her protests that she can't, Noel climbs into the back seat to deal with the attacker. He puts an extra helmet on her before kicking her out of the car. Another Molotov is thrown at them, and Noel forces Katie to drive through a wall to escape. They narrowly avoid a collision as a biker crashes into another car while Katie knocks out a different pursuer using her helmet. The car, badly damaged, finally breaks down. Katie tries to run off, but Noel catches her. Noel explains that he doesn't get paid if she quits, but he still wants to help her because he believes in treating people the way he'd want to be treated. Katie throws sand in his face and manages to punch him, but Noel calmly resets his nose. Just then, a police car appears, and Katie runs toward the officers for help. However, they also want to kill her. Noel grabs their taser mid-attack and begins fighting them while Katie uses the opportunity to run away. Katie hides her face with a map, but the nearby crowd notices the drone above her and starts searching. Katie ducks into a wax museum, where the guard surprisingly reveals that he's anti-lottery. He lets her hide among the statues. Katie calls Shadi and asks to borrow her car, but Shadi keeps pressing Katie for her location, making Katie realize Shadi is playing the lottery too. Suddenly, one of the statues loudly welcomes Katie to the museum, revealing her hiding spot. Afterward, Shadi and DJ try to enter the museum, but the guard stops them. Shadi punches the guard, knocking him out, and the couple rushes inside. Katie hears them coming and hides behind a statue, but when she tries to sneak away, DJ shoves her onto a desk, but Katie grabs a bottle and throws it at Shadi's head before tossing sand into DJ's face to escape. The couple quickly regroups and fights Katie together. Katie defends herself using a statue's staff, but when she tries to run, Shadi kicks her, making her drop the staff. Katie fights back by throwing statues at them. The chaos spills into the horror room, where the fight intensifies as they use any props they can grab to attack each other. Katie finally manages to escape, but Shadi throws an axe at her as she runs. Luckily, the weapon is fake. Katie hits a button to lower the shutter and seal them inside, but stops when she remembers Noel's advice. She quickly adjusts the guard's position to make sure he won't choke, then rolls out of the museum just before the shutter fully closes, leaving Shadi and DJ trapped. Outside, a tour bus guide spots Katie and announces her location on a microphone. Before the attackers can reach her, Noel suddenly shows up in a police car and drives her away. Meanwhile, the tour bus keeps ramming the back of the car. Noel wishes they had a bunker, and Katie remembers the taxi driver's comment about Machine Gun Kelly. The pair heads to Machine Gun Kelly's house, where Katie asks for help. At that moment, the tour bus arrives, forcing Katie to act fast. She grabs Noel's dart gun and demands Kelly open his panic room. Once inside, Katie and Noel dart Kelly to put him to sleep and struggle to close the door as a crowd floods into the house. One person's arm tries to stop the door from shutting. Noel gets ready to shoot, but Katie, thinking he's aiming at her, takes the gun and fires a dart at the arm, making it retreat. The panic room is fully equipped, and they use the security cameras to watch the growing crowd outside. Still unsure about Noel's intentions, Katie keeps the gun pointed at him. Noel, trying to prove he's trustworthy, sits beside her and shares sweet and random facts about himself. As they talk, Katie's Oscar keychain falls out of her pocket. When Noel compliments it, Katie shares that she was a successful child actor and earned good money, but her father ran off with it all. Noel listens with understanding and kindness, which makes Katie feel comfortable enough to hand the dart gun back to him. Katie asks Noel why he would help her quit, and he explains his priorities. First, saving lives, and second, making enough money to keep saving more lives. The crowd keeps pounding on the panic room door without success. Meanwhile, Shadi slaps Kelly to wake him up, but it doesn't work, so she drags him into the pool and threatens him until he gives up the password. It's the meme 6969. Katie and Noel watch everything on the camera, and Noel gets frustrated because now he has to call in a favor. He orders something called a phone strike and quickly places Katie's phone inside a safe. Then the two of them brace against the door as Shadi enters the password. Suddenly, the crowd freezes when everyone's phone starts blaring with an amber alert. It turns out to be a trap. Every phone explodes, causing burns and injuries to the people outside. Katie and Noel leave the panic room to escape. Noel even stops for a moment to put out flames on someone's groin. Outside, a team of guards with damage-proof vehicles and rubber bullet guns is waiting. They're only there for Katie, but she refuses to leave unless they take Noel too. When they arrive at headquarters, Katie meets Lewis, who owns the security company. Lewis gifts her a new phone and boasts boasts that the building is the safest place in the country. He even shows off grenades in his pocket as a sign of confidence. Lewis gives them a tour, showing them a wall of saved winners. The names are listed as anonymous, and it's clear the company hasn't had many clients lately. Lewis explains they charge 30% of the winnings, and Katie agrees to sign the contract after ensuring a portion goes to Noel. They notice a growing crowd outside on the security cameras, so Lewis decides it's time to move Katie to a hidden underground fortress using decoy vehicles. Before they leave, Katie and Noel get their wounds treated, and Noel opens up about his past. He used to work as a private mercenary alongside Lewis, traveling the world to take down terrible people. But one day, Noel learned that some of his targets weren't actually bad guys, and he quit in the middle of a mission. The decision caused the mission to fail, leaving only him and Lewis alive. Since then, Noel has used the money he earns to help the families of his victims and fallen teammates. Katie shares her story in return. She explains how her dad had been her manager. When she turned 18 and wanted to take control of her money, he disappeared with everything. She had to care for her sick mother, who passed away a month ago. At that moment, an employee brings out a prosthetics machine. Katie places her face inside, and the machine applies a mask, transforming her into an unrecognizable old man. Noel becomes suspicious because moving Katie doesn't add up, and he realizes this facility is way too expensive to run on just 30% of old prizes, especially with so few clients lately. After Katie finishes her disguise by changing clothes, Noel figures out Lewis has been faking his protection services and secretly killing the winners. When Lewis takes them to a car, Katie insists that Noel comes with her, but Lewis refuses. Katie kicks Lewis in the groin, giving Noel a chance to open the garage door. Noel quickly shoots all the guards with his darts as the crowd rushes inside. The chaos allows Katie to slip away unnoticed since no one recognizes her in the disguise. Noel hands her a key card he took from a guard and tells her to run while he stays behind to buy her time. As more guards arrive, they overpower Noel, and Lewis kicks him, demanding information. Meanwhile, all the AI-controlled decoy cars leave the facility, with Katie hiding in one of them. Lewis orders his team to track the cars. Downtown, Katie removes her mask and takes control of the car, triggering an alert in Lewis's system due to the route change. On social media, the news of the drone losing track of Katie spreads, and she begins gaining fans who see her as a symbol of hope. Just as she's about to leave town, Katie gets a call from Lewis. He threatens to kill Noel if she doesn't turn around. Noel yells at Katie to save herself, but after hesitating, she turns the car around and agrees to meet Lewis. At the old theater, Lewis tortures Noel while revealing he had always known they were killing civilians during their mercenary missions. He never cared because it made him rich. Lewis also admits he killed their team and framed Noel because he didn't like sharing the profits. Katie finds a bolt gun in the glove compartment and heads into the theater. She discovers Lewis and Noel on the stage and points the gun at herself, threatening to self-delete so no one gets the money. Lewis doesn't believe her, but Katie explains he'll kill her regardless. She then reveals she's recording everything for social media, making it impossible for him to cover up his involvement. Katie vents her frustrations about her terrible life and pretends she's about to pull the trigger. Lewis finally tosses her the handcuff keys and tries to make a deal. Katie acts like she's handing him the gun, only to kick him off the stage, proving she was acting all along. The other players immediately come after Katie again. Familiar faces from earlier in the day block every exit, forcing Katie to use anything she can find to slow them down. Amid the chaos, Lewis grabs Katie's leg, pulling her to the ground as he attempts to kill her. A cop steps in to help, but Lewis kicks him aside and continues his struggle with Katie. At that moment, a crowd bursts into the theater. Noel, still cuffed to the chair, starts fighting them while singing the Ninja Turtles theme song. He moves so much that the chair eventually breaks, giving him more freedom. Katie bites Lewis to disarm him and throws the handcuff keys to Noel, who finally frees himself. As Noel takes on Lewis, Shoddy appears with a katana to fight Katie. Katie quickly disarms her and knocks her out with a headbutt. With only 4 minutes left on the clock, while Noel keeps fighting Lewis, Katie climbs the stage decorations to get to safety. Lewis grabs an axe from another player while Noel defends himself with cymbals, managing to finally defeat his former teammate. Meanwhile, the bus lady tries climbing after Katie, but Katie kicks her off. Noel starts breaking parts of the stage decorations to block the crowd from following Katie, but Lewis's men arrive. Half of them form a human ladder for Lewis to climb, while the rest tackle Noel. Lewis reaches Katie on the scaffolding, and the two start fighting. Katie slips and ends up hanging from the edge. She reveals that she secretly used her keychain to activate one of Lewis's grenades, which explodes and kills him. Katie falls, but her fans appear with a giant flag and catch her just in time. As the countdown hits 0, Katie hugs Noel and promises to give him 50% of her winnings. The lottery officials arrive to hand over her check, and Katie surprises everyone by announcing she no longer wants to be an actress. 6 months later, Katie and Noel are working together on several charities. They've started a free protection agency, a self-defense and stage fighting school, and a center for kids with bad parents. Noel tries to open a Ninja Turtles-themed pizzeria, but he gets sued for copyright infringement. arrangement. The duo also treats themselves to a vacation on their own super yacht. Don't forget to subscribe. Here's some more interesting story you don't want to miss.